Is Icebox worse than it used to be? I know that that's a bold claim because the bar was already very, very low. But legitimately, is Icebox even worse after the changes that Riot made? And I know some of you might think like, oh, it's just because it's different. People don't like change, yada, yada, yada. But let me explain some of the reasons why I legitimately think Icebox might be worse than it was before. Let's start off with the mid problem, and the mid problem is this: that back in the day on the old Icebox, you used to be able to come and put a turret on here, and it would watch people coming up the tube for you, and it would watch the people down there, and combine that with an alarm bot over towards A, you know, something like this, you know, anywhere in here, and basically, you know, whether someone lurks up towards A, or whether they came underneath here, or whether they came all the way up here, your Killjoy utility would be able to spot them, and all would be good, right? But now there's a little bit of problem because of this window. Now, I get why they added this window. It's to add more, you know, so more reason to come to mid, right, and explore this space. But if you think about it, why were people going to mid anyway on Icebox, right? It was often just a mid lurk. Well, the thing is, they didn't incentivize the team going to mid more. All this window does is incentivize mid lurks more, right? So you haven't really changed the way it's going. You've just added an extra option for the attackers to come in here. And it's made it pretty tough for the defenders because now this turret doesn't watch this window. And so you can still get picked off on rotations or stuff from someone just getting up here. So the defenders now have had to come up with different solutions to that instead. And really, there is no great solution. The best solution is probably putting a turret somewhere on here, right? A turret somewhere on here will watch the mid lurk towards A for you, and it will watch if someone comes into the window. But the problem with any turret across here is that it's very easily destroyed, right? The attackers don't need to go that far to come and destroy any turret on here, right? They can destroy anything across here pretty easily. And so that's not great either. And if you can't put a turret on there to watch two ways, well, then your one sentinel just doesn't have enough utility to be able to cover all of it, right? If I put an alarm bot down there and a turret watching this, well, then they can go on an A lurk, and I don't have anything watching that. If I come and watch the A lurk with some utility, like an alarm bot, and put my turret maybe watching the tube, you know, now I don't have any utility to watch this going on. You see the problem, right? That I only have 2 bits of utility, there's 3 things to watch, and I can't watch all 3 without playing multiple sentinels. But even if I played multiple sentinels, there's still a problem as well, and that's where the barriers start. Because the barriers start here, you know, pretty restrictive, so I need to go and put something down there. Or if I'm trying to watch this, I might need to also put something down there as well. Or I might need to put something before they get to the window. You might notice that the barriers are stopping me from doing all of this, which might mean that even if you do play multiple sentinels and put, you know, all your utility in there, it's still only going to be after the barriers, which means that you have to have 2 people start down here, which means that, you know, the early part of A and the early part of B become quite easy to take. And so a different way you might go about things is being aggressive in mid, and that definitely can work, as you're seeing from this clip. But often, as you'll see from the clip, when you are getting aggressive in mid, you might want the whole team to be there, or certainly multiple people to be there, because again, being aggressive in mid is not the easiest thing either, because there's a lot to potentially deal with here, right? In mid, when you first come out here into mid and you're trying to get aggressive, the problem is in this space, as you're looking towards basically their spawn, they can realistically be anywhere in here, right? There's no real right place for them to be because it's their spawn, right? And they could just be running from one way to the other, or, you know, and that means that it's very difficult to know where to put your crosshair as you come out and be aggressive in mid. And hell, they could even be, you know, up on this box. They could be, you know, very close to you. They could be very far away. It's very difficult to know what fight you're about to actually take when you come and get aggressive into mid as the defenders. And then there's more problems with mid as well. Like this change here with this box, right? I was actually a big fan of this change. I thought this change, yeah, it's a good change. I didn't like this space before. This makes a lot more sense. The space becomes, you know, much more easier to deal with. Good change, right? But this change has had a knock-on effect that I didn't really first consider. And that is, this is now a tiny, tiny choke point, right? So again, we're trying to incentivize, oh, more mid-play or whatever. But any nanoswarm, anything, any utility in here will stop you in your tracks, as Cloud9 are going to find out in this round.
I think Thief's Lockdown is like the biggest player in this round with the time. Our first mid-B split.
C9 plays slow as shit.
New Icebox mid-B.
Damn.
Wait,
That's tough.
20
Icebox
seconds. Mid-B actually working? The change might actually do something.
Oh, that time is becoming kind of a problem. The fly knows it as well. Oh, he has such a good timing.
Wow.
Dude.
No.
Oh, no.
Wow, it's the IGOs, huh?
Yep.
This is the battle of the IGLs. It kind of feels like nice.
Same old Icebox. You go
Those
mid, you
mollies
lose.
just, I mean, they stopped them. They just had to watch
Yeah.
the mollies slowly melt.
Did you hear the hope there in Sean's voice? Of, oh, can a mid to B actually work on this map now? Oh my god, that's incredible. And then he quickly realized, oh no, it's the same old Icebox. Going mid, you lose. And it was just one molly, right? Because as they come out here and start this kind of B split, their util is actually quite good. They even find the first kill, right? So in they come. They're going to go, the blast back on the top. They send the Rain Lear out here. They got the deadlock wall to make sure no one can come behind them as well. It's all quite nice. And they actually get the first kill, as I said, as well here on Vic. So now we're in a 5v4. But again, this one Viper molly from there, and it's over. They're now just sitting here. They just sit here, and that means that these guys who weren't in the round really now have time to come to the little grate, and they're just going to find free kills as they come across here, and this round is just over, right? So again, all of their util was nice, but they have to wait the full 5 seconds for this molly to go off, and now you get into this crossfire where you've just got two people staring through this grate at them with this crossfire here, and C9 just instant lose the round. Right, like it's just over straight away, and literally one snakebite just bought all that time, and that's it. The round is done, and it's over. And so again, a B split now is maybe even harder than it was before. And don't get me started on this space towards B, because as soon as I first saw this, I kind of knew that, oh, this is going to be a mistake. And the reason for that is because before, again, defenders had options here for the first part of B. You could play Jet or Omen or something and get aggressive on some of those early angles and get a kill and get out because there were still things in the way of the attackers. But now it's all gone, and now it's too open. And I picked Yoru for good reason here, because really, if you want to be like super aggro, right, and get into like these angles here and like really play very aggressively here, like if you're doing this with Jet, you aren't escaping this, most likely, unless you're Aspas, you just aren't getting out. So now probably Yoru, and if you do, want to play Yoru on this map, this is probably a good reason to do so, right? Because Yoru is probably the only one who can, reliably be here and actually get away to a safe position, right? And that's a problem. That's not great. That's not good map design if only one of your agents is, playable in a space for the defenders. That's not a good idea. And again, it just always comes back to, I would love to have seen what the devs thought. Like, what do you do to reliably defend Icebox on B that isn't just running away and like playing for, a flood retake, and try and deny the spike going down? Because again, you can't really get aggressive now, with reliably, I would say. You can't, really play back yellow all the time either, because this is a very entrenched space, right? That's going to be tough, and you're going to have to escape. You have to cross across this death zone here, right? And again, in ranked, help isn't coming here, right? So you're basically just stuck here most of the time in your ranked games, which again isn't great. So I just want to know, what did they expect, ranked players to do here on B? And reliably find success, or reliably think that they can at least achieve success. To me, it doesn't seem very obvious. And so, in my opinion, Icebox's problem before was that whether you're in a bronze lobby or a pro game, the best way of playing the map was just 5 people go to a site, or maybe 4 people go to a site, and 1 person lurks in mid. And the changes have essentially just gone, yeah, keep doing that. That's definitely the best way to play. Maybe 1 person lurking in mid got slightly better. That's it, right? The team shouldn't go mid. Never should you have more than 1 person in mid if you are the attackers. You should still just be going towards the site. And they made it even easier to do that, to go to B as well. But that doesn't lead to interesting gameplay. That leads to very linear, very stale, very boring gameplay, in my opinion. And I think it potentially got even worse.